become the voice of the working man, the gun owners of America, the Second Amendment proponents, the miners, the unions, the elderly, the Social Security and Medicare recipients, the military, the veterans, and the taxpayer, all of whose interests are being shortchanged while the corporations are making record profits and our leaders spend millions of tax dollars trying to play policeman to the rest of the world. And let me take this opportunity to address the youth of this nation, who I invite to join us and lend energy to this effort of the Reform Party to rediscover America and its greatness through a truly conservative philosophy of government. There's a lot of confusion among the young about what being a conservative really means, and that suits many interests, because one of the tools of the New World Order is the concept of newspeak, where the definition of common terms becomes so altered that no one really knows what they mean anymore. Over the 2 past decades, they've misused the term conservative so much nobody's really sure about what it means anymore. So let me set the record straight, my friends. Newt Gingrich was not, and Mitch McConnell is not, a conservative. They're closer to being aliens than they are conservatives. Now, Barry Goldwater was a conservative. And I think Barry would have taken Newt and Mitch by the ear and let them out behind the woodpile and thrashed them for trying to pass off this emerging police state and its bloated, increasingly private prison system as a conservative law and order philosophy. And to the Republican Party, and Governor Bush, let me say that compassionate conservatism does not include jailing millions of people for victimless crimes and depriving our elders of their proper medication while giving billions to the corporations. This Reform Party can survive and thrive from this day forward if it becomes and remains a party of principles, not personalities. And I believe that those truly conservative philosophies and principles include a smaller government and less taxes and a commitment to take the government out of the bedrooms, bloodstreams, bladders, brains, and back pockets of the American people and put it back in a little box where it belongs. The core of the American Revolution, what made it such a critical event then and what makes it so critical to continue now, is that for the first time, the benefits and results of the processes of government are to flow to the people, not some king or other privileged elite holding power. That's what the American Revolution was all about. Right now, in this day and age, that proposition is being sorely tested by the huge strength and influence of the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military, industrial, transnational corporate elite those people view the protections of the people and the Constitution and the Bill of Rights as impediments to the implementation of their new world order, where the benefits flow not to the people but to the corporate bottom line. These dangers to the American way of life are obvious to a great number of us Americans, so it is natural that we should organize in political opposition to their presence. Since our Reform Party naturally attracts those people disaffected by the corruption of the Republicans for a wide variety of reasons, we're certainly not going to be on agreement on every issue. And we may be seriously wide apart on one or two issues. But we must not let our differences on these divide our efforts to come together at this convention. Americans under the great mantle of the Constitution of the United States. We must find our common ground within the Reform Party. America itself is at stake, and we must do all in our power to unite as defenders of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, so that indeed this great nation of, by, and for the people shall not perish from this earth. Thank you very much.
I think we all ought to go down to Kentucky sometime this election season.
19 years old. I didn't know marijuana cured asthma. I didn't smoke marijuana for the first time until I was 21 years old when it cured my asthma. So I'm unapologetic about it. But I'll tell you what, I can be just as aggressive now as I was at 19 when I went to the Marines, and I'm starting to get that attitude about this. You know, I've been working with this for 30 years now, and all these smug son of guns out there who kind of laugh and snicker and giggle over the fact that, you know, that law enforcement is being used as a mechanism, and, you know, it's got that kind of a taboo kind of flavor to it, but I'm sick of it. Other states have already decided on this issue. I don't think Kentuckians are any dumber than the people in these other states. Every place where it's been put to a vote, 7 states where medical marijuana has been put to a vote, is passed by an average of more than 60 to 40%, because the people there know what the hell's going on. So, you know, in the state of Kentucky, I just don't think we're living in the dark ages, and I don't think we're 10 years behind these other states. And so we're going to bring Kentucky into the new age, and we're going to bring about some change in these marijuana and hemp laws.
Well, that's I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to know that you're still in there, and
well, they made me mad.
And there's still hope.
Well, yeah. There's only 4 places for an aggressive young man like me from Kentucky to go, and that's jail, law, politics, or Tennessee.
Okay.
And I'm not going to Tennessee, so you know, well, I can go to the other 3. And, you know, we're going to change things in Kentucky.
Earlier, we had a lady from the Honolulu Drug Forum, Pam Lipke, on our show, and she lives there in Hawaii, and she was telling us that in, I think, less than 2 years, she got a few doctors and a few attorneys and a few people in government, you know, together, and in less than 2 years, they had medical marijuana totally approved in Hawaii, and here in Kentucky, it seems like there's 1 step forward and 4 or 5 steps back.
It's the battleground. It's the battleground for it. Because see, I came out early on, and I started publishing my first papers on it in 1977. But it was in the face of the tobacco industry. Kentucky is the center of the tobacco industry. They've always viewed marijuana and hemp as a competing crop instead of a complementary crop or a supplementary crop. And there's such a monocultural agricultural basis there that the aspect of a second crop took even more negative connotations to them. Not only hemp or marijuana, but tobacco. And of course, Kentucky was the world's largest producer of hemp for over 100 years, and so they viewed tobacco as kind of replacing hemp, so that hemp would never again look like mean as much as a crop to Kentucky as ever before. It got replaced by a crop. It didn't get supplemented by it. It got replaced by tobacco. Now that tobacco's lost its hold, hemp is being revisited, and the current crop of official wannabes are now quite interested in hemp because of the strength of our voter turnout in the last 2 elections. People know that I'm associated with marijuana and hemp, and and still they came out to the polls and voted 15% and 12%. So people are becoming educated, and I have a great deal of hope for the future of Kentucky.